And just like that, we are back. Welcome to In, On and Gone video number 62. Yeah, back in the shed after my summer break. Where have I been? Bit of a clue there. Okay, Amsterdamage. Excellent integrated public transport system is the thing that impressed me quite a lot over there, as well as the local culture. Yeah, nice place, nice and relaxing place. I think anywhere with like waterways and canals and nice boat trips, it gets my thumbs up. Yeah, very, very relaxing time with the lovely Mrs. S. But back ready now and raring to go. Bit of a change to In, On and Gone. Okay, this is In, On and Gone 62. My name is James Smith and I run channel JR64. And I think what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to make more of this In, On and Gone series. Have it as a weekly thing and integrating my little thoughts about eBay as well. So I'm going to do like one release every week. Okay, a little bit longer, a little bit more detailed. I'm going to try it like that. Okay, right. In, On and Gone is all about my shop. Okay, my eBay store, what's coming in, what's on, what's gone from it. Okay, we're going to start with the gone and we're going to start with the quick sellers. There's been a few over the last few weeks because if you look through my channel, you'll see a video about scheduling holiday time. Yep, I put my shop onto holiday mode, but you can also, when you're on holiday mode, accept offers from other people. There'll be a message to them saying that, or an automatically generated message saying that you're on your holidays and you can't dispatch the goods until a certain date. So the buyer is aware, but they can still make offers. And most are absolutely fine with that. So I was still able to make a few sales, but yeah, we're in the summer slowdown at the moment. This is the calm before the storm, isn't it? This is the calm before the Christmas, so-called Q4. Okay, and later on in this video, I'm going to be answering questions. And one of those questions that I've been asked through the comments on my channel is what works well for Christmas. So keep watching, okay? But we'll start with the quick sellers first. Now, the first one to tell you about is probably one of my highest markups that I've spoken to you about, where I've actually found it in a shop. Yeah, you could say, well, why isn't that your title? But I really want to get the impression across on this channel that it's not about you. It's unrealistic to expect that you find all these bangers in the shop and you're selling them for hundreds of % profit, and it's a totally normal occurrence. It isn't. But these were a pair of Camel trophy trousers, cargo pant like trousers, that I found for £1.50. And I put them on. And I accepted an offer of £28.60 on them. So the markup there is quite substantial. I got £21.10 back after postage and fees were taken off. So take the profit off that, take the cost off that of £1.50, and you ended up with £19.60 profit, which is 1,306%. So even though I aim for 50 to 100, this absolutely blasted it. Nice pair of trousers, very, very good brand to look out for, Camel, okay, as in the animal. Next up, these were a nice pair of Adidas Trainers that I found in one of my local charity shops. They were just there. They had £8 on them, but you can normally tell by looking at them that there's something about them that you'll soon realise. Maybe the soles are a bit bigger, but if there's something that just makes it look that little bit different to your regular trainer, you'll normally find that they're in very, very high demand. And that was the case with these. They cost me £8, but they were a decent size. Okay, they were a UK 12 size. And as I say, I sourced them for £8 and I sold them for £48.60. All right, so I was right in thinking that these are desirable and sought after. £32.54 back after fees and promotional fees, because I promoted these ones at the 10% to try and get them out there more, because I knew that they were worth quite a bit more than the £8 that I paid for them. So the markup, the space in the markup was there for me to do it. Usually I promote at 2%. I have tried in the past to promote every trainer that I sell at 10%. Didn't quite work. There's some that came off. They sold quickly, They did sell quickly. All of them sold quickly, but there were some that sold at a slight loss. And yeah, that's not good. All right, so I've reverted back to using my experience now as to what to know to promote at 2% and what to know to promote at 10%. Anyway, I was left with £24.54 profit, okay, which is 306%. So these ones did well, and I was pleased with them. Next up, if you ever find a pair of these and they're in decent condition, get them. Clark's Gore-Tex Active Air walking boots. These sold really, really quickly. All the things that I'm telling you, there's 5 in all of these sold within 7 days. These ones I paid a £5 for. Brilliant, nice little sauce there, and sold them for £22.60. This is a typical run-of-the-mill sale, this one. Yeah, if you would have held out, you might have got 25 for them. But as I say, I promote the cash flow. I want to get them on, get them gone straight away, or as quickly as possible. Yeah, if you only offered me 12 quid, then no, I wouldn't take that. But £22.60 is an offer that I was prepared to accept. £15.69 after postage and fees. Okay, so £10.69 profit after taking the £5 that it cost me off that £15.69, which is 213%. So again, well above the 50 to 100 target bracket. Happy Smithy. Next up, it's a good brand, this one, and I've sold quite a few of them. It's a golf brand, and in my past videos, I've commented that a lot of these sales go to Scotland. It is Sunderland of Scotland, and this was a nice blue weather beater top with detachable arms. Well, it could either be long sleeve or short sleeve. The detachment was around here, so you could have it as like a t-shirt if you wanted. This went on the GSP as well. This went to Germany. So yeah, pleased. It cost me £4.50, all right, and I got offered £20.60. That I took. £14 and 2 pence back after fees and postage taken off. So then take the cost off, okay, the £4.50 off that figure, you're left with £9.52 profit, which is 211%. So far, yeah, 5 things so far we're at, and I'm doing them in order of markup. And at number 4, we're at 211%. So yeah, it's gone quite well. Even though I've been in Amsterdam, okay, it has gone quite well. There were some nice little things that I was gladly packing up as soon as we returned. With the holiday suspension, what I did is I made my holiday last until about 1 or 2 days after we got back, to give me time to get back, to get unpacked and to pack up any orders that had come in. It wasn't on the exact day that we got back. I don't know as well if anybody else of you have experienced this, and I think this is a result of Brexit, unfortunately. I try and keep this as unpolitical as possible, but the queue to actually get your passport scanned going in, no problem. Okay, it delayed us, but we didn't have a flight to catch because we'd already got off the plane. But coming back, we were at the check-in, the bag check-in, at the time that EasyJet said. We got them through, okay, and then we stood in the passport queue. We nearly missed the flight. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but it took one hell of a long time to get through that passport control to come back home. That is something that I think needs to be sorted out. Anyway, let's move on. As I said, I'm not political, but it was something that Mrs. S was not very happy with. Right, moving on. A pair of Maya Oslo trousers. These were a deep red pair that I sourced for £4, sold for £12.60. Nice. £7.80 back after fees and postage, £3.80 profit, 95%. So yeah, fine. All right. So those 5 things were good, quick sellers in the last couple of weeks since I did my last video. All right. Right. Now, I'm going to move on now to, as I said, this video is going to be a bit longer. All right. I'm changing my style a little bit and just putting out 1 video a week. It's more of a time thing. So I can just have the Sunday evening just editing the one thing. And I do have ideas to maybe start another YouTube channel as well. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But and again, I've got to create the time for it. Okay, this is a hobby. This is a side hustle. And it's also giving you information. So the quality of the information will not go down. Okay, I'll still be doing like the in, on and gone and discussing something to do with eBay, but it'll all be in one video instead of split into 2 videos. You know, just going to basically reduce the editing time. Anyway, questions that I've been asked in the comments that I feel that I can answer. There's some coming up now. First question that I get asked quite a lot is, how do you clean trainers? I do sell quite a lot of trainers. They're a good thing to sell. They're in demand. They're small, so they can easily be posted. And there's plenty of variety of them. And there are certain brands that really do stand out. I mean, from what I've just told you about, there was a pair of trainers in that. How do I clean them? I use a variety of things to clean. But probably the main 3 things that I use is, number 1, a Karcher pressure washer, especially for the synthetic running shoe trainers. All right, if they've got a little bit of dirt on them, or especially the white, certainly the white ones that have got a little bit of fake tan on the inside of the heel, put a pressure washer on those and it brings it up really, really clean. The pressure washer is fantastic. Word of advice though, do not hold them too close. I don't think you're quite aware with these pressure washers about, well, you know, it's why they're called a pressure washer. The water comes out under extremely high pressure, so don't hold them too close. You have got to hold them back a little bit, but you know, probably about 30 to 45 centimeters back from the trainer itself. But you'll soon get to learn about the distances. Because if you hold it too close, especially if you're going to the rubber at the bottom, it will just destroy it. So make sure that you're far enough away so that it doesn't destroy it, but close enough to actually get them clean, because they are extremely good at taking dirt marks out of trainers, especially synthetic ones. I wouldn't use it on leather, because what it does, sometimes it will take the top coating of the leather off, especially if it's like coated leather. It'll just take the coating off. So yeah, don't use them on leather. But certainly synthetic trainers, the Karcher pressure washer works an absolute treat. Second thing that I use is a steam cleaner, and I certainly use these on the sides of the sole. Any sort of like dirt or marks on the side of the sole, if you run a steam cleaner along them, 9 times out of 10 it's going to bring it up, and it makes the trainers look really, really good for the photographs. I have seen quite a few YouTubers like literally give it, just like use a specialized product on it and just basically give it a whole bath, and also really, really deep clean the underside of the trainers as well. Therefore, trainers that hold a high value. Say like if you've got like a pair of rare Air Jordans, then yeah, cleaning those to make them look brand new, it's worth doing. But I find the sort of trainers that I'm working with, like running shoes, fitness-based shoes, stuff like that, it's not really worth doing, because people are going to walk in them anyway, so they're going to get dirty straight away. So I don't really bother with cleaning the underside of the trainer. I'll make sure the grips are there, and I'll add the photo showing that the grips are in good condition, but I don't scrub them clean. And, you know, as I said, especially with football boots, I'll high pressure the base of the football boot to get all mud and dirt off, but I don't give it like a real high spec clean on the bottom of them. Can't really see the point in doing that. And the third one is isopropyl alcohol, using a cotton bud. Say if there's a really, really stubborn bit that you want to get off because you don't want it showing up in the photograph, just rub a little bit of alcohol on, and that seems to work as well. Especially sometimes I'll just go around the bottom of the shoe again after steam cleaning them, and it works well. So this type of alcohol, which is freely available on Amazon, is a really, really good thing to use to get dirt out of things, especially trainers. So that's how I clean my trainers. And where do I get them from? Somebody did ask, where do I source my trainers from? There's two main things recently that I have used to source trainers, and one is charity shops. I find that there are some decent trainers in charity shops, and as long as you know what you're looking for, usually they price them at a level where you can make a little bit of a profit. But during the summer, one of the best places to look is a car boot sale. And I actually went to a car boot yesterday and I got some in. So I'm going to show you now what I got from the car boot yesterday to give you an idea of the type of sourcing that you can do in a car boot. To me, car boot sales, the stalls or the people selling fall into two categories. There's the pros, the ones that are there each and every week that are actively looking and using it as a shop front, okay, which in effect is what I could do. And I reckon next summer I'll have enough stock to actually fill maybe one or two tables, and I might give it a whirl. I did think about doing it this summer, but I just haven't got round to doing it. Next summer it could be. And also it's the people who are just there just to get rid of some of the stuff that was in their house, okay, and just to make a little bit of money. They're the ones to go for. I had some good bargains yesterday from these types of store, whereas the people who know what they have got and who are actually using it as to supplement an income. Well, car boots supplement income all the time, don't they? That's probably the wrong thing to say. Basically, it's more of a business to them. I found a nice pair of Solomon boots, Gore-Tex, and you know, some people might have sold that for between £5 and £10, whereas this bloke wanted 35 for them. Yeah, it's two. I wouldn't make anything on it, so yeah, I put it back down again. But he's trying to sell for somebody at that car boot who is the exact size and who it would fit, and you know, there's no problem with that. Okay, maybe somebody did get them. Maybe I should have gone back at the end to check to see if they had gone. But yeah, they're the two types of, they're the two categories that the stalls fall into. And I certainly would say to you that the ones that are just trying to get rid of stuff from the house, maybe the house is too cluttered, certainly the ones to go for. So what did I get? All in all, I spent 18 quid on these 6 pairs of trainers. First up, nicest pair of Adidas Neo lightweight trainers. Okay, probably get about 15-20 quid for those. Yeah, so I'm pleased with that. Nike Blazer 77 high tops. There were no laces with these, but I've got some laces lying around. I think with the original color of lace with these was blue, but I could get away with white on these as well. Again, if you look at the bottom there, that just a bit of a steam clean on this, just to get into the nooks and crannies and just to bring it up as a little bit more white would look really, really good in the photographs. And then can you see the Nike tick has just got a little bit of staining on there? Alcohol will get that up, and maybe a bit of a steam on this or a bit of a rub, okay, just there to get that up. I'll probably just put a rag with just some washing up liquid and warm water on that just to get that up. But these are in nice condition, so I was pleased with that. We've also got a pair of Nike Hypervenom football boots, okay, with the sock on. The sock part, I think people like these because it gives a bit more of a support for the ankle. So yeah, these Hypervenom, I think, what are they? The Hypervenom Fatal, spelt with a PH instead of an F. It's a bit of an extreme word to use for these, but yeah, coloured, bit red, nice. Okay, Astro as well. The Astro ones I find are more in demand because these would work on a 3G pitch as well as a grass pitch. So yeah, pleased with that. Next up, a pair of Adidas Falcons. See, look at that. All right, nice condition. Don't really need that much cleaning. If you can see there on the bottom there, it's just a little bit of dirt in amongst the grooves here. I would put a high pressure hose on that just to get those little bits out, and then that would photograph really well. I know I said that I don't really do that much with the bottoms, but I would certainly get those little bits of dirt out because that would take less than a minute. to do that. So yeah, it's worth doing because it brings them out better for the photograph. What else is there? A pair of Puma suede basket platforms, and as well it has got a little bit of irregular stitching at the front there. Puma have brought out these like high platform shoes, and they're quite popular, but Puma have also done like the front in a different style as well. Now this is a definite candidate for a steam clean. Okay, can you see like all the bits of dirt around there? Okay, a steamer would get that up really nicely. So a steam clean is definitely happening for these. Next up, nice pair of Converse All-Star. Again, I'll steam clean the bottom of those, and on this top part here, okay, the toe part, rub a bit of alcohol on that. It will get all of that off, and that will, you know, go up really nicely. As I said, for all 6 of these, I spent £18. And is this the 6? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these are the 6. And you can see on the bottom there is a little bit of wear. It hasn't broken through. It hasn't punched through yet. There's no splits or anything like that. But the lady there said, oh, do you want them for £1? I was like, yes. You know, I wasn't going to turn them down for £1 because they are in okay condition. Okay, but I reckon I could certainly get between 8 and 10 for these. And, you know, considering they only cost me £1, if somebody comes in a little bit lower than that, then, you know, I'll probably accept that as well. So, yeah, those were the trainers that I got from a car boot yesterday. Car boots are a very good source of, you know, inventory. Not infant, as in not soldiers, okay, as in stuff that's in your shop. I've also been asked a couple of times, and you know, as I mentioned earlier in the video, summer is, oh, can we say it's on its way out, even though it's beautiful weather outside? I am loving it. I love August, absolutely love it. But yeah, we do have to consider the fact that autumnal nights are just around, or not that far away. You know, it's getting darker earlier now, isn't it? It's depressing because I love the hot weather. But anyway, yeah. And then, of course, that concentrates our minds on the C word, Christmas. And I have been asked a few times, what sells well at Christmas? Well, as I've said in previous videos, I've been doing this now for about 2 or 3 years. So I wouldn't consider myself to be an absolute seasoned pro at this. But there are some things, especially from last year, that I can mention did seem to sell quite well at Christmas. The first one was like woolen jumpers, merino wool, cashmere, anything like that. I mean, that's a cracking present for dad, isn't it? Or granddad. Yeah, these jumpers sell very well in the run up to Christmas. What you got to look for there is especially back of the neck and underneath the arms. Just make sure it hasn't gone threadbare or there's no holes. And as well, hold it up and just check to make sure that it hasn't lost its shape. Some of these jumpers that are sold or that are in charity shops of the wool variety are obviously there because they've shrunk, because somebody's put it in the washing machine on a non-wool wash. And yeah, it ruins them. So whenever you wash a wool jumper, as I'm sure you're aware, you've got to put it on the wool cycle. So yeah, look out for that. But woolen jumpers sell quite well. Another thing that I noticed selling very well last Christmas was basically hairstyling products, like hair irons, hair to curling tongs, stuff like that. If they're of a decent name, Babyliss, one name that springs to mind. To actually know what the decent names are, just go onto the Curry's website or go onto the Boots website and see which ones are holding the highest value, and you'll see which ones are the highest there. Obviously GHD are the holy grail, but yeah, if you think, number one, they make good presents, and number two, there's a lot of like do's and events and parties on at Christmas time that everybody wants to look their absolute best for. So yes, that's why they sell. There's two reasons there as to why they sell. So yeah, their hairstyling products certainly go. I just mentioned the fact that there's a lot of do's and parties and stuff like that. So this is one thing that I stumbled across last year, but I've kept it up. And actually, they do sell very well throughout the year, but certainly in the run up to Christmas because of the amount of official, formal do's that are on. And that is the tuxedo trousers with the stripe along the side, men's formal trousers. They really sell very well in the run up to Christmas. I had about 4 or 5 at the beginning of November. By the end of November, they were gone, and they've been on my store for about 3 months. So yeah, I was pleased with that. So that certainly is another thing that sells well for Christmas. As well, yeah. Now, obviously, the Christmas dinner is a huge part of that, and everybody wants their table to look really good on for the Christmas dinner. So any host is looking for stuff for the table decor, I think I would describe it as. And I've just seen something up here actually which has given me an idea to include this. But I've got 3 of these, 3 candlesticks. They're heavy. God knows what they're made out of. I'm going to have to research that. But yes, stuff like this. And I've got no proof of this, but I think this is going to sell quite well. And I think the person that buys this most likely will be thinking about decor for their Christmas table. I could be wrong. But yeah, that is certainly something that I would sell for Christmas. Also, as well, Christmas jumpers. Yeah, I mean, they're going to sell well as well. So, yeah, there's a couple of ideas there for things that sell well at Christmas from my experience and through ideas that I have as well. Also, as well, I'll give you a bit of an update on eBay Simple Delivery for private sellers. Now, I did a video about this, basically just reacting to the comments that I was seeing on the videos that I do. And the last video that I did, it was, I was reading out comments that were quite negative towards it. Okay, and I posted it, and the reaction to it was basically the comments that I saw after I posted that video was, oh, it's been going for a few months now. I didn't like it at first, but actually now it's working quite well for me. So it's certainly not as negative as what I portrayed in the last video that I did. So there is certainly potential for another video for the more positive comments to come through. I think this is going to be an ongoing thing. How eBay run their store is going to be a huge point of debate because there's so many people that are now involved in it. And, as I reiterate, the ones that I feel really sorry for are those that live a long way from post offices or every like drop-off points. Every can come and collect. But one thing that I'm certainly dealing with at the moment, I did have a customer recently. She messaged me and she said, can you please not send it every? And because I've got issues with every, and there's a couple of customers that have said this. Every are quite, I think they're time poor, the delivery people there, so they're just chucking them in, taking a photo, look, there it is, and just driving off. And if you live in a place that's a little bit obscure, or a little bit of like you've got a long driveway, or you're one of these houses that's a little bit difficult to find, I don't really think every are putting in total amount of effort to actually find and provide a decent level of service. That also is coming through on the comments as well. Interesting. I'll keep running with this because it's certainly something that stimulates a good debate. So I'll now continue with what I've sold, but this is the stuff that has taken more than a week to sell. And the first thing I'm going to mention is an electronic doorknob. And what I mean by that is a doorknob that you've got to put a code into. I found 3 of them in a charity shop, and basically brand new and boxed, made by a brand called Zinca. And yeah, I got it for £5 each, and I've just sold one of them for 20 quid, or £23.60 with the postage. This has gone GSP. So that leads me to believe that Zinca, Zinker, are a bit more of a recognised brand on the continent than what they are in the UK. Anyway, yeah, this sold for £23.60, £13.29 back, £8.29 profit, 165% markup. So yeah, pleased with that. And I got 3 of them, so there's another 2 to go. So yeah, it's sold for that price. We'll see. Maybe the last 2 I'll drop them a bit, because I have virtually made my money back on, because it was £5 each, so I virtually made my money back on the 15 quid that I spent. So I could drop the reason why I'm pointing up there is that that's where they are. I could drop the price on the other 2 and still make a bit of money on that. So yep, I was pleased with that. Next up, a brand and a type that sell really well: Nike, Adidas or Under Armour sweatshorts. The sweatshorts, people can wear them in the gym. Well, I'm saying, you know, it just depends where it's. Yeah, they can wear them. They can wear them anywhere. They're a little bit warmer because of the material that they're made up. I think people in the gym who are more concentrating on the lifting exercises, the weightlifting exercises, I would say that they wear them. But the main place to wear these is around the house. They are very, very much lounge wear sort of shorts. They're comfy, elasticated waist, nice, warm, comfortable material. Sweatshorts sell well. So these were a nice pair of Nike Air Jordan ones, which I got for 4 quid. Sold them for £13.60, £8.55 back, £4.53 profit, 113%. So nice pair of Nike sweatshorts there, Air Jordans. Next up, a style of shoe, the Clark's Mary Jane Flats. These sell well as well, and I think it's basically because in terms of a flat shoe, they are quite comfortable. There's you know, take a look around you, see what style of shoe is being worn quite a lot, and these sort of like these pumps are certainly a popular shoe amongst women, especially as like the office wear type shoe. But yeah, these I got for £6. Okay, they're a nice burgundy colour that hadn't really been worn at all. They had been worn because there were some marks on the soles, but not much. I think these ones were, somebody got them, wore them a few times, maybe their foot was either too small or too big, and then just took it down the charity shop. Okay, nice little pickup. £18.60 I sold it for, £10.59 profit. Okay, £10.59 back, £4.59 profit, 76%. Nice. Okay, well within my bracket. Next up was a pair of Adidas laceless football boots, Astro boots, and these were part of the Predator range. Now, this is an example of, because they'd hardly been worn, and brand new ones were being on at 60 quid, and I put them on for about 40, and I didn't really have that much, and I dropped the price, and then I dropped the price again, and then that started a little bit of traction, and the offers started coming in. People are after a bargain on eBay. If they wanted to pay full price for something like this, they would go to the shop so they could actually try it on. Remember, what you're doing here, even if you got something brand new, and especially with shoes, people haven't really got the facility to try it on, okay, unless they just live up the road from you. And there are some people that just, I know that if they don't fit, you can send them back. Yes, I've got the returns policy. Yep, I try and give as much information as possible so that this doesn't happen, because it is a hassle, but it happens. And if it does happen and the customer sends them back, I make sure that I issue the refunds pretty quickly. You know, it's because on the eBay app, it will ping you saying, right, this has been returned. You've now got to issue the refund. As soon as that ping comes through, I'll do it. Because the last thing that you want is somebody actually giving a bit of feedback on your store saying, hey, I returned something, I had to wait ages for the payback. What you want is somebody saying, I returned something and the refund came through immediately. That's what you want, okay? Because that installs more buyer confidence. Anyway, these cost me £10.50 and I sold them for £23.60. £16.82 back, £6.32 profit, okay, which is round about 60%. So again, in the 50 to 100 bracket, I was pleased with that. I could have got more, but I would have had to have waited for longer. I'm perfectly happy to let them go for this price, okay, because otherwise my shed would need to be about twice the size of what it is. Next up, nice pair of ladies classic style golf shoes, Adidas, white, nice, just nice all the way through, in good condition. I was pleased with these, and I made a bit of profit on it. Okay, £7.59 I paid for it. This was a vintage pickup. £17.60 I sold them for. £11.77 back. £4.18 profit. 55%. Golf shoes normally do bring in a decent profit at the 50 to 100 bracket, because you can command a little bit more for it. As I said, these were £17.60, and it's quite a basic golf shoe, whereas like a basic trainer would be between £10 and £12. So yeah, these go for a little bit more, but yeah, I was pleased with that. So yeah, golf shoes, if you can get your hands on a pair which from a decent brand, clean them up, they do sell well. Next up was a bit of fitness gear, a nice Adidas Climber Light long sleeve run top, red and black. Yeah, £5.15 I paid for it. £11.60 was the offer, accepted it. £6.85 back, £1.70 profit, 33%. So yeah, we're going into the lower profits now, but this is just like the bread and butter stuff that can easily be photographed. With my fitness tops, I make sure that the logo is in good condition. Okay, there's no bits hanging off or anything like that, or if it's printed on, it's still fully printed on. There's no rips or no tears, and I think one of the main things that I look for is that the label is still in good condition. If it's a cloth label, it's not fraying at the edges and all the information is still there. If it's something that's printed on, again, no words have been rubbed off, and it's still in really, really nice condition. And if you can show that on the photographs, usually people respond quite well to this. So yeah, I was pleased with that. And last but not least, pair of Levi's. I was a bit surprised at how long these took to sell. They were a pair of Levi's demi-curve low-rise jeans that I paid £10 for. I would not, for a pair of Levi's, £10 is my limit. I wouldn't go above £10, and solely for the reason I'm about to show you. £18.60 I sold them for. Postage fees taken off, £12.83 back, so £2.83 profit, 28%. So not a huge profit, but I sourced them literally at the top of the bracket that I usually go for with this brand. That's why it's important to have brackets for brands and to know where the cutoff point is. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing these videos, to let you know where my cutoff point is. And for a pair of Levi's jeans, the cutoff point is definitely £10. If they're above £10, I'd leave them in the shop. Okay, right. That's it. That's it. Nice to be back. Okay, nice to be talking to you again. As I say, I really enjoy doing these videos. I am strongly considering as well starting up another channel on everything golf. Okay, sorry, it is a hobby of mine. I'm not quite at the addiction stage yet, but I've had a few good rounds recently, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. So yeah, look out for that. An exciting development, and really it is about generating income. It is about creating side hustles through the YouTube. I would definitely say to you that if you're comfortable talking, or if you like talking, you know, get yourself in front of a camera and talk about something that you have a passion for. I've got a passion for reselling. Okay, I've also got a passion for golf as well. So I'm turning those passions into a little bit of cash. I saw an article recently that YouTube is now the second most watched thing in the UK behind the BBC. That's huge. That is a huge piece of news, considering YouTube's only been around for 20 years. So yeah, and you're watching me on YouTube as well. All right, it's the content that you could actually get on YouTube and the content that you could create. There is somebody out there wanting your knowledge. Trust me. Okay, so if it's something that you're interested in, please give it a go. All right, I've enjoyed every minute of doing it. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling now. All right, I'm hoping to get this out tonight. It is a Sunday, so yeah, Sunday evening with Smithy. Here we go. Right, been lovely talking to you. Okay, cheers. Bye bye.